Hello everybody, today it's the 4th of May 2024 and 2 days ago the United Kingdom held local elections in England and Wales. In this video we will be discussing which ones each party will spin as the ones predicting the next general election. Let's start with what you could call the winners of this election, Labour. They've gained about 170 councillors, 8 councils, 3 mayors, 9 police and crime commissioners and 1 MP to the tally. These numbers can still go up as not all councils nor mayoral races have been declared. Most of the councils that they have gained come from no overall control, but 4 have been directly gained from the Conservatives. Another point that they would want you to focus on is the 2024 Blackpool South by-election, where Labour candidate Chris Webb defeated Conservative Dave Jones and Reform candidate Mark Bloodsher by a very comfortable margin to take the seat. They will also just point to general gains everywhere across the country and will try to ride this momentum in the next general election, whenever it may be. After the winners, we go to the big losers, the Conservatives. Two elections that they would want you to focus on are the 2024 Tees Valley mayoral election and the West Midlands mayoral election. In Tees Valley, Ben Huchen has been confirmed as the winner, beating out Chris McEwen from Labour to retain his seat for a third term. The Conservatives have claimed that Labour has thrown everything at this election, while Labour are claiming that this is not indicative of national results, instead just of the personality of Ben. In the West Midlands election, this hasn't been called yet, but Labour has already conceded basically. So it's not a win for Conservative candidate Andy Street. Another point the Tories will focus on is the fact that Labour have lost the councils, in fact, of Oldham and Kirklees. This has been attributed to Muslims coming out and voting against Labour due to their stance on the war in Gaza. Another council that the Conservatives would want you to see is the Council of Harlow, where Labour wanted to take it. Keir Starmer even campaigned here, but instead the Conservatives have held the council by just 1 seat. Next are the Liberal Democrats, which at the moment, with 5 councils still undeclared, have been more successful than the Conservatives in this election, not only in amount of councillors, but also in the amount of councils they have won. Their strategy was to campaign only in some councils and not everywhere, and will therefore, unlike the previous two parties, only point to a few elections where they were successful, especially in the Tory heartland in the southwest, with councils such as Dorset and Tunbridge Wells, which they have been able to gain, and the one in Wokingham, the seat of former Conservative Prime Minister Theresa May in Parliament, then not in the councils, where they have managed to lose out on the majority by just 1 councillor. The Greens, meanwhile, will only focus on 2 councils. That one of Hastings, where they've gained 8 seats and they've become the biggest party, and the one in Bristol, where they have managed to gain 10 seats. They've managed to gain 10 seats, being just 2 councillors short of a majority in this council. Up next is Reform UK. They will point to their strong showing in the Blackpool South by-election, where Mark Butcher came third to David Jones by only 117 votes. They believe this is a sign to Rishi Sunak that reforms on the rise and that the time for Conservatives is up. They will also point to the two councillors' gain in Havant, which used to have a Tory majority, but that has now been lost, in part due to the reforms gains. Last but not least, the Workers' Party of Britain, which burst onto the scene thanks to the 2024 Rochdale by-election in February, where George Galloway won the party's first and only seat in Parliament so far. They have gained 4 councillor seats, 2 in Rochdale, where George Galloway is the MP for, and one seat each in Calderdale and Manchester.